Here are the 25 most influential cities in history that have shaped our current world. 25. Formerly known as Edo, Tokyo has been Japan's most important city for nearly 500 years. What's even more impressive is that its incredible rise to an elite global metropolis was driven by its remarkable recovery from World War II. Japanese companies and their famously hardworking staff were responsible for an economic miracle that by the end of the 1980s had turned Japan into one of the richest nations and Tokyo into the high-tech capital of the world. 24. Timbuktu, the city of gold and an ancient center of learning, is unfortunately slowly turning to dust. The Sahara Desert is stifling life, but residents know the blame doesn't just lie on natural forces, but also because of human neglect, war, and greed. However, the city's glorious past makes it one of the most important and influential ever in history. 23. Tenochtitlan was an Aztec city that flourished between 1325 and 1521. Built on an island on Lake Texcoco, it had a system of canals and causeways that supplied water and food to the hundreds of thousands of people who lived there. It was largely destroyed by Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortés in 1521. Modern-day Mexico City now lies on top of much of its glorious remains. 22. Olympia is one of the most popular tourist destinations in Greece, and one of the most powerful brand names worldwide, with billions of people focusing on the city during the ceremony of the lighting of the Olympic flame before each Olympics. With a population of about 13,500, Olympia is without a doubt one of the most influential small places in the world. 21. Moscow was the capital of Great Russia from 1340 to 1547, and then the Tsardom of Russia until 1712, when the capital was moved to St. Petersburg. It also became the capital of the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic in 1917, which then became the Soviet Union, and since 1991 has served as the capital of the Russian Federation. 20. London was the capital of the vast British Empire that lasted for over 300 years, bringing more disparate parts of the world under European power than any other city. Home of the Royal Society and modern science, London has been one of the most influential cities in the world for the past half-millennium. 19. Florence, the birthplace of the Renaissance, is home to masterpieces of modern art and architecture. One of its most iconic sites is the Florence Cathedral, which is considered one of the most gorgeous man-made constructions in the world. 18. The earliest recorded mention of Dubai is in 1095 in the Book of Geography by Abu Abdullah al-Bakri. It's believed that the city was covered with sand for over 5,000 years. During the 20th century, however, the city became one of the most powerful, economically speaking, and has also become known for its skyscrapers and high-rises, in particular, the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa. 17. Delhi has seen the rise and fall of many empires that have left behind a plethora of monuments to the grandeur and glory of ages gone by. It hasn't always been India's capital, but it has played a pivotal part in Indian history. It's always been a gateway city, built on the plains initially near a fording point on the Yamuna River and on the route between Western and Central Asia and Southeast Asia. 16. Legend has it that on a journey from Mecca, the Prophet Muhammad cast his gaze on Damascus but refused to enter the city because he wanted to enter paradise only once, when he died. In this city of legends, which vies for the title of the world's oldest continually inhabited city, this is but one of thousands of stories. 15. The origins of present-day Cairo can be traced back to the Egyptian capital of Memphis, which is believed to have been founded in the early 4th millennium BC near the head of the Nile Delta. The city spread to the north along the east bank of the Nile, and its location has commanded political power ever since. 14. Berlin dates back to the 13th century and reached its peak during World War II when Hitler used it as the base of the Nazi regime. It remains one of the most economically powerful cities in the world, but is better known for its art scene, nightlife, and modern architecture than anything else. 13. Baghdad is Iraq's largest city and one of the most populous urban areas in the Middle East. The city was founded in 762 AD as the capital of the Abbasid dynasty, and for the next 500 years it was the most significant cultural center of Arab and Islamic civilization, and one of the greatest cities in the world. 12. New York has led America's surge to the forefront of the world stage over the past century, and continues to be the capital of the world's economy and trade. It might not compare in terms of historical significance with many other cities on this list, but its rapid rise to the top is nonetheless one of the most impressive in history. 11. Alexandria was the symbol of the union of two of the greatest civilizations, Greek and Egyptian. During the Hellenic period, the city became home to the famous Lighthouse of Alexandria, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and the Great Library, the largest library in antiquity. 10. Eridu is an ancient Sumerian city in what is now Iraq. It was long considered the earliest city in southern Mesopotamia and is still believed to be the oldest city in the world. It was established by fishermen, peasants, and nomads, birthing the first major settlement in human history. 9. Paris has been the center of European culture and fashion since the Middle Ages. The city influenced modern Europe like no other, and remains to this day the most visited city in the world. During the Enlightenment and the French Revolution, Paris became one of the global centers of social and political ideas that changed the world, and keeps influencing it to this day. 8. Was a city in Sumer in southern Mesopotamia in what is now Iraq. According to biblical tradition, it was named after the man who founded the first settlement there, though this has been disputed. The city's other biblical link is to Abraham, who left to settle in Canaan. Whatever its biblical connections may have been, was a significant port city on the Persian Gulf, becoming an established city by 3800 BC, and was continually inhabited until 450 BC. 7. With a history of thousands of years, Constantinople experienced its most glorious days as the capital of the vast Byzantine Empire. The city was known for its architectural masterpieces, such as the Greek Orthodox Cathedral Hagia Sophia and the Sacred Imperial Palace, where the Byzantine emperors resided. 6. Beijing has an immense history stretching back 3 millennia. It's widely known for its modern architecture as well as for its ancient sites, including the Grand Forbidden City Complex, the Imperial Palace during the Ming and Qing dynasties. 5. Babylon served for nearly 2 millennia as a center of Mesopotamian civilization. Hammurabi, one of its early rulers, created the first recorded system of laws, while in later times, the Babylonian language would be used across the Middle East as a way of communicating across borders. Another of the city's great accomplishments, according to legend, was the construction of the Hanging Gardens, another one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. 4. Rome is synonymous with the most famous empire in human history, lasting for hundreds of years and dominating most of the known world. It's also the home of Catholicism and the Pope's base, with millions of religious tourists visiting every year. 3. In the year 570 AD, in the city of Mecca, in what is present-day Saudi Arabia, the founder of Islam, Muhammad, was born. Today, more than 15 million Muslims visit Mecca each year, including several million during the annual Hajj, the pilgrimage all Muslims are required to take at least once in their lifetime. 2. Jerusalem has been a place of pilgrimage and worship for Christians, Jews, and Muslims since the biblical era. The Old City retains significant religious sites, including Temple Mount, the Western Wall, and the Dome of the Rock. 1. Birthplace of Western civilization, Athens is the most influential city ever in the fields of philosophy, architecture, politics, science, and free thinking, as well as the original home of democracy. Athens also became the first city to organize the first modern Olympics back in 1896. Speaking of ancient cities, be sure to check out our friends at Alternate History Hub and their video, What If Carthage Replaced Rome? By clicking the link here. And as always, don't forget to help us consistently conciliate curiosity by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing.